Hey everybody, this is KyleIceW and welcome back to another brand new video. In this video, we are going to be talking about Wizard101 in 2020. So today, like I said, we're going to be trying to figure out exactly what we'll be getting in 2020, the year 2020 for Wizard101. I am beyond excited that I'm able to even create this video. I'm so happy that Wizard101 has been around for more than 10 years, a whole decade, which is absolutely incredible. A lot of games, you know that they're a good game if they've lasted this long. So we have to give Wizard101 some credit, and so that's exactly what we're going to be doing. But first, I want to do a little bit of a recap for you guys, just so that if you've missed a couple things, or if you're not too sure exactly what has happened throughout this year, we're going to be doing a little 2019 recap. So with doing that little recap, I also want to go over how they do updates, how they do minor updates, and then we'll kind of do a little bit of expectations or a little bit of a hypothesis of what will be coming out for 2020. Also, I'll be going onto Twitter and reading your guys' responses to the tweet that I made, asking you guys what your expectations are for 2020. So let's go ahead and get started in the video. First thing, I just want to thank everybody who gifted me a little something. I didn't even see this right away, but I got a little energy elixir from Iridian. I got a Yule Logger pack from Thomas, and I got something from Emma. So thank you all so much for all these little things. I am so thankful, and they're so cool. But thank you guys. Okay, so for 2019, we're doing a little bit of a recap. So every update or every year they do 3 major updates, and I believe like 5 minor updates in those major updates. It's a little bit confusing, but I'm going to go over it kind of quickly. But of course, since 2000, I believe, what was it? I have a little notepad here. So since 2015, they released Polaris. 2016 they released Mirage, and 2017 and 18 they released Imperia Part 1. So hopefully 2020 they release a completely brand new world series. The reason why they did the world, like this 3-part series of the worlds, was because of the old Cobb storyline. So hopefully they somehow do that again, because that'll give us a whole bunch of years worth of content to play through. But every one of those years they gave us 3 major updates and about 5 minor updates within all of those major updates. So we'll go ahead and start with 2019. So for 2019 April, they released Spring is in the Air, and those 5 minor updates were Wizard City revamp continues. So this is when this is the year they were trying to not release a new world, but focus purely on Wizard City and all the little updates in that. So they did the continuation of the revamp. They did a 7th character slot, which was a potion. They did mention something about a treasure card vault, which we actually did not see. We only saw it in the update notes, which was a little unusual. They also released a new skeleton key boss. They released a couple. There was a level 21, which was the Spirit of Ignorance. They left, and then they also released a level 131, which is the Aether Elemental, which really drops a really rare mount. If you guys have it, you have a pretty cool mount. And then also finally they released a new decathlon event, which was the Fire, Ice, and Death. That was all in the first month of April for 2019. So of course, if you guys are trying to figure out how this all works, so like I said, it's a minor update, and then it's a major update, which is the main thing of that month. Like I said, they always do April, July, and November. That's what they've tried to do pretty consistently. And then they also have the 5 minor updates. And all of these updates through this entire year are focused mainly on Wizard City. So if you're getting a little confused, that's exactly kind of what they're trying to do. So next, they have one for July, which was the Sizzling Summer Update. They did one for April, and then they have one in the summer, which was for July. That was the Wizard City revamp completion. They completed all of Wizard City and all of the graphics, all of the character models, all of everything like that. And then next they did the FTUE, which was the first time user experience, which also was focused, of course, on Wizard City and the beginning of, how you started the game, which I think was pretty, impactful for the game. I feel like it's going to be very helpful for people that are just starting the game. And they also released a new Beast Moon event. This is the year they released the Beast Moon event, 2019, and I think it's had some pretty great success. I would like it to be more, focused. I wish a lot more YouTubers and I wish a lot more players would play it. maybe if there was better drops, I'm not too sure. But it's a really cool event, and I think it's like really fun to play. Next, they had the quick sell, advanced quick sell option, which I think was extremely impactful for the game and really a good update. And then of course the new Scroll of Fortune update, which was really amazing. I actually am not even going to show you guys my Scroll of Fortune yet. But there is one going on right now. It's the Winter Scroll of Fortune, and they're going to be doing that one for every, I believe, season, or a couple, you know, for a very long time. So it's really cool. They just did the Fall Scroll of Fortune, and then now they have the Winter one going on, so it's pretty cool. So next, they have one final, I guess, month of updates that they released a bunch of stuff, which is November, and this one was titled the Wizard City Underground. This is the one that we were all waiting for this year, which was really cool, and this is like the one that everybody has been, you know, expecting for Wizard City. So of course they finished the Wizard City update, or the revamp, and then they released this really big dungeon for lower level wizards and high level wizards. So the first, I guess, minor update you could say, because like I said, they always do 5, is the Wizard City Underground new quests, or new quest line. So they released one in Old Town, which is the Old Town Drain instance, which I believe you have to be level 10 or 15 or above to get in there, or maybe level 5 or above. I'm not very sure with that answer, but if you guys look around Twitter, there is a level cap for you to get into it, but it's not very high. Next, it is the Golem Court Drains and Catacombs, or Catacombs. This area, or these areas, are, you have to be at least level 130 or just completed Imperial Part 1, I believe. So, or Part 2, I'm not very sure, but I do know you have to be at least level 130, of course, or above, you know, if that ever happens, or if that happens. Of course, those were the major updates and major areas and dungeons that were released. Next, they released the spell writing system, which is actually really impactful and really amazing into the game, which is going to help with all of future updates. I think. I feel like this is a really cool and fun way that they are introducing like new enchants for spells. And then of course they released 2 new major spells that were called the utility spells, which was, I believe, Nightbringer and Daybreaker. I can check real quick right here. Yeah, we got Daybreaker and Nightbringer. So those are the 2 new spells, and of course with the spell writing system they did also introduce all of these new spell writing things. These 2 right here, this Frost Beetle and Leprechaun, actually aren't supposed to be in the game yet. I think this one maybe is, but this one definitely is not. That's why it says max. But they decided not to even take it down because they accidentally did it, and it's not really a surprise anymore, so they're just like, let's just leave it up there. People can see what we're trying to work on. Next, they also released the Backpack Butler, which I don't really know why they have a whole highlight for him, because I mean he's pretty impactful but not that important in my eyes. And then of course they released a huge update, which was the lots of improvements, which was the hatchmaking kiosk improvements. They did the castle magic update. They continued the FTUE improvements, expanding the Beast Moon Hunt and expanding the Decathlon updates. So those were the major months. Like I said, they always do 3 major months, which is April, July, and November. That was all of those updates for 2013, or wow, where did I get 2013? 2019. And so now what I want to do is try to come up with some guesses for the year of 2020. I want to see exactly what might be coming out for 2020. So I did go on Twitter and I asked you guys what you guys would be wanting for 2020, and a lot of the things that I came up with for this little list that I have is stuff that you guys also have said. So they always start out with a kind of minor update, but pretty impactful. Then the middle update is a lot of game-changing updates, pretty also impactful, of course. And then the final update, which is usually in November, is usually the world or the final update. Those are usually the 3 updates that you get in 1 year. That's what they've been trying to do pretty consistently since like 2015 or maybe even 2014, not sure. But I do remember 2015 was the start of Polaris. Then it was Mirage, and then the 2 years, 2017 and 18 for Imperial Part 1 and 2. If I'm talking a lot and you're getting confused, hopefully I'm going to be hopefully when I start editing, I'll be trying to put in some pictures. We'll see how that works out for me, but that might help a little bit more as well. So For 2020, I believe in April, I'm expecting and hoping to see maybe the start of the revamp to Crocotopia. I think this is an amazing thing. They did mention that they are going to continue doing the revamp for all of Arc 1, so that includes Wizard City, Crocotopia, Marleybone, Mushu, and Dragonspire. And that would be really cool if they also did like Wisteria, well, not Wisteria, but they did Grizzleheim as well. That'd be really cool. I might have missed a world, I'm not sure, but those are like those are the worlds for Arc 1, and I would really like to see them revamped. That would be really cool. Starting with Crocotopia, I mean, just the first little update that they throw at us, the major update, would be really cool if it was Crocotopia revamp. Next, of course, like I said, they do 3 major updates. Would be in July, which I think are huge major game updates, like actual game updates. So this could be graphics, or I'm not too sure, maybe a new system that they're trying to introduce, or I don't know, maybe a new dungeon, but something major that is, you know, game related. Maybe PvP changes, some more PvP changes. I know they did that for this year, 2019. They did a couple PvP changes. They're trying to show us exactly that they are attempting to change the way PvP is played for this, I guess, this season. And then next, of course, they have the final month of November, which I believe was going to be the new introduction to a brand new world for the new arc. They do a arc for every like major person. The first one obviously was Malistaire, then Morganth, and then now Old Cobb. And then when we talk to the tree in the Arcanum, wow, that was some lag right there. But there's the tree over there. Her name is Sybil. At the end of Imperia Part 2, we were actually able to walk all the way over here, and she started to talk to us because she woke up. She found out that, you know, it was time to say something, and she got us all questioning, what is nothing? What should we be afraid of? And she said that we should be afraid of nothing, which is really scary and kind of terrifying. And I'm really excited to see exactly how that arc is going to be played out, because we still have a lot of unanswered things. Like, for example, we have this Cabal door over here that is still chained up, where we can't even, you know, open it. I mean, I was going to say we don't really know where the Arcanum is, but I think in a quest line we found out that the Arcanum, I think we talked to the guy who is, if you were to go over here and go to the right, there's like a unicorn guy that you have to fight to get your shadow spell, I believe. For me, I think it was the not snowball barrage, it was the, I'm not too sure actually, but I do remember when I went over here. Actually, I'll just go over here and point him out. When you talk to this guy, he tells you that the Arcanum is in a realm that is in between the spiral, in between worlds, in between everything, and we just exist nowhere. So like, we're just dead center in the middle of like nothingness. So I don't know how that would really, you know, take part in what Sybil was trying to say. I wonder if that maybe is the spiral right here, or even like right there, right? Do you see, guys, like right there? But there's loads of little things, like, or little spirals just floating around. So we really could just be, I'm not even sure where it would be. I think we're just nowhere. Anyway, that's besides the point. So that would be like the November update, I would think, would be the brand new introduction to a new world, or even just the beginning of a new story. And I feel like that would really make me happy to see all of those updates. And going back to July, the update for July, which is like gameplay changes, I would love for them to make Wizard City free. And I actually did see Blaze Lifehammer's video on this. He was saying that he would love to see, and I know everybody has wished this for Wizard101, and I don't know why they wouldn't be able to do it. I think they should make Wizard City free. I think that would make the game a little bit easier for players to get through the whole game and want to actually buy membership, give you a little bit more to actually play through. And then the beginning of Crocotopia, or the Oasis, or even what Blaze Lifehammer said, where he was saying that you just go to Crocotopia and you do the beginning quests, but you're only in the hub, so you can't go to like the pyramid or anything like that. You would just be able to go into Crocotopia. But I feel like that'd be really cool, because that'll give players an experience, a reason for them to actually want to play more through the game. And throughout, there's so much that you can do now in the game. I feel like that would be like an okay thing. I don't know, maybe they will, maybe they won't, but we'll see. But those are like the major updates I think that would be, or like hypothesis, or our hypotheses. that's going to be for 2020. Like I said, I did make a tweet saying expectations. What are your expectations for Wizard101 in 2020? What would you like to see or get implemented? So of course, a lot of people, or a couple people, did comment on this, and I'm going to actually be showing your little tweets on the screen now when I talk about them. But we got one from Skarks, one of my good friends. He said more new gameplay mechanics. I don't know if you know what I mean. So I was like, you should expand a little bit more. And he was saying, oh, he said, oh, a new loading screen, some more new HD textures. He said Crocotopia, which is something that we mentioned. The pet mini game for Wizard City houses. So I think he was also talking the pet mini games, like updates for that. He was also, we also got another tweet or another comment from Riley. She said, I would want to see trade all TC button, but in general, I'd love there to be a Croc revamp and hopefully a new world. So she also mentioned the two major updates that I was talking about, which is the revamp for Crocotopia and a new world. Next, we got the real Brandon B16, who said, I would like to see why that tree in the Arcanum told us to fear nothing. I'm assuming that's, of course, the new arc, which will have to do with nothing. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to be implemented, or I'm not sure what that means, but that's definitely what the new arc is going to be all about. And we still have no idea what the Cabal really is. We've come into contact with them, but they're supposed to be like a secret organization, and we don't really know who they are. We know what their purpose is, and we kind of know who they are, but we haven't really seen much of what they've been doing behind the scenes. So that's something that I think would be really cool to see. Next, we have B Storm Eyes. That's Benjamin. Hopefully, pet second chance and a lot more nerfs / removal of spells for PvP. So he's very focused on PvP. So like I said, for July for 2020, I would like them to do a lot of gameplay changes. For example, PvP. Songbegale also commented on this and said hopefully fixes to PvP and ways to make pet training not so tedious. So that's something I think is also pretty important. Next is from the Crazy Gamer 1995, who said, I'm like and KyleIceW to update, probably I would like to KyleIceW to update the graphics from the other worlds in Wizard101, so probably the first arc. Talon Wizard101 said new spells. I totally almost forgot about that, but with new worlds, usually we get new spells, so hopefully we would be getting some new spells. I'm not really sure how happy I would be to see what level cap they would make this new world, but hopefully they either do not to like 135, maybe 140. That would be really cool if they made this world go to 140. But yeah, next we've got Laura Porsche, who said a new world. That would be really great. Of course, we all really would like a new world. I do apologize if I say any of your names wrong, but this one is from Irajan, I really hope I'm saying that right. Would love to see more open world elements in the game, like flying around with mounts, the option to cancel a side quest, and upgraded graphics for the spells and their animations. I almost forgot about all this. Something that I also would like to see would be an open world, which I believe Matthew also did comment saying that if they were to do an open world, they would make it a side world, which I totally agree. I feel like they should definitely do that, because I feel like it would be really cool to fly around with the mounts that we like, or the mounts that, you know, can fly around, and make it like a little side world for people, but make it optional, and not make it feel like people that can't get there, you know, don't really need to be there. If that, I don't know if that makes sense. And then of course I would love to have new spells, be able to cancel side quests. I would love to do that, because right now I was doing a couple side quests a couple days ago, but I would love to just cancel some of these side quests. I really don't feel like doing them, and I just hate having like a full backpack filled with side quests. I don't know why that bothers me. I'm like OCD about it. And then of course upgraded graphics for the spell animations. I have seen, or I guess in a dev diary last year, they did say, or they did show some upgraded animations and some upgraded character models for like spells like Froststrike and stuff like that. So I'd love to see the upgraded spells with this, because that would also help with the whole Wizard City update, you know, or revamp. Next we have Carlos Seasword, who said, if you join a battle while everyone is selecting their cards, then the round timer gets reset and you will also be able to select your cards. It's exactly what happens in Pirate 101 right now. I do remember that this update is in Pirate 101. Like, if you were to run into a battle, everybody that's trying to select their stuff, immediately the timer resets, and I believe that person automatically joins the battle. I feel like not only would that make time like less, like it would make people feel a bit more welcome instead of you joining and then you standing there for a little while until everybody's rounds are over. But yeah, I totally agree with this little update. Last but not least, we have Mads, who said graphical updates for other worlds. Also, and then in parentheses she said, though it seems unlikely. Oh wow. I'd love a new school. Not like the Astral schools, but like a new school that you can make a wizard for. Oh wow, this would actually be really, really cool. I totally agree with this. I remember a long time ago when the Astral schools were being implemented, or even that when the Shadow school was implemented, I thought that maybe one day you'd be able to create a wizard with a brand new school. I feel like that would be so cool, and I feel like they would be able to create a commercial with this to bring players back or bring new players in. I feel like that would be really cool, and I totally agree with that. I feel like that would be really nice. I don't know if they would do that, though. I agree with that, with what you said in your parentheses. But one other final thing that I would also like to say would be having the ability to choose something. So in other games, to make the game feel more like you're actually a part of the game, they would give you options or choices that determine what happens in the game. For example, this is just, of course, something that may or may not happen in the game. Maybe at some point, your wizard gets put in a place where they have to choose either light or dark, and whatever you choose will determine the rest of your storyline or the rest of what happens in that world. And then you'll have maybe different spells or different abilities or different something. I feel like doing stuff like that would make the game feel more personalized and a little bit more like you're actually a part of this game, and every choice that you make actually determines what happens in your game. Which I feel like would be really, really cool. I know that's like a lot of work and probably a lot more implementing into the game, because when they implement like a new world in the game, everybody has the same storyline, everybody has the same stuff, and I feel like if they were to do choices like that, it doesn't even have to be story based. It could just be something you personally, if you choose something that happens to you in particular. I feel like that'd be really cool. So I don't know, I mean, for example, they do give you choices when it comes to spellments, which I really, really love. They're actually giving everybody choices when it comes to that kind of thing. So I'd also like to see choices like in a game, or like if somebody talks to you, you have to say either this or this or this, and whatever you say will determine how that person talks to you or acts towards you, or you know, if they trust you or not. So I don't know, I feel like all that would be really cool to see in game. And that's exactly, I think that's everything that we have to talk about for expectations or what we would like to see for 2020. I'm glad I was able to do a little bit of a recap for 2019. I hope that helped you guys out a little bit, and I'm also extremely excited that I was able to talk about 2020 before, you know, it's 2020. It's almost here, so I hope you guys will be ready for it. I hope that everything that we talk about in this video may be in 2020, but you never know. But I am positive to say that we are going to be getting a brand new world in 2020, because, you know, in 2019 we did get a huge update towards Wizard City. So now I think it's about time that we get some new spells, a new world, and some new major updates. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, do not forget to like, comment, and of course subscribe to my channel. Turn on post notifications and notify you whenever I post a brand new video. I'd really appreciate it. And I think that's everything. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.